Good morning, Floss Tube. It has been a long time since I've done a video. I apologise. I did one in January, or was it end of February, and my computer played up and I got cranks and got caught up with life, and I haven't done one in a very long time. I have been heavily Instagramming, and I think I really love Instagram. Just take a photo, put a post up, small words, a couple of hashtags, and then look at everyone else's work. I've been working on lots of little bits, no finishes. I'm a chronic starter, not a real great finisher. I used to not do too bad until I started doing the really big ass ones, or baps as they call them. Also, I got myself a little stitching buddy, as you may have seen on Facebook and so forth. She is a bit of a handful and has started restricting my time in stitching and other things. And you can probably hear her in the background now, having a feed. So, her name is Matilda. She's a little, I call her a schmoodle, Shih Tzu Maltese Poodle. And I've been busy for the past 5 weeks driving over to Gladstone, which is an hour and a half away for those who don't know Queensland, and every weekend, and doing puppy preschool to try and get some manners into the little mutt. So she's my darling, but stitching time has been terribly reduced. I don't get the time in the morning anymore. So on with showing you all my works in progress. I'm going to start back right at Christmas because I can't remember what I showed you last. Excuse me. April is here and it is autumn and it's cooler weather and my allergies are going absolutely berserko. So I'll probably start getting the sniffles and have to pause, go get tissues, get rid of it all and start again. So let's get on with showing you my works in progress. So this was the Mirabilia Christmas one that I work on for myself at Christmas, seeing as I can't do reindeers in front of my mother as I'm giving them to her. So this is Mirabilia's Christmas Flourishes. I'm out of practice, so please excuse me. She's a bit crinkled at the moment. Slowly making progress. She has got a great big dress that goes all the way down there, so I have a long way to go. She's been a bit slow because all that detail in her hair was a lot of confetti for Mirabilia anyway. But I'm quite happy with my progress on her. I only work on her once a year at Christmas, usually within the first week over the Christmas period, and then I'll swap on to something I want to work on, one of my bigger projects. This year, I've discovered audiobooks. I discovered them a bit before Christmas. I love listening to an audiobook and getting absorbed in that and stitching and making huge progress. I did that at Christmas time. And what I started working on was one of my first Heaven and Earth patterns that I started. It's called Mask of Colours 2 by Ravenscroft. I can't think of her first name at the moment. And I'm going to have to stand up and move out. So I've done all that beige. Which way am I moving? I need to move. So out of practice. So I've done all the beige over that far side. So over this side. Where my fingers are, here. So I worked on getting all that beige done, and that's down to the bottom of the first page. And I'm now onto the second page, so it's exciting. I think this is the first full page I've done on her, because I started in the centre on her, because I didn't want to start. That's how I used to start my project. So the centre of her is all the way down here, which is her belt. Then you've got her gorgeous corset, which I worked my way up into her face, and then all the way up to the top. And now I'm trying to work my way down. So she's on one of I bought 2 of the scroll bars for my Millennium Frame. So she's on one. And on the other one, I've put the other Heaven and Earth I'm working on at present, which is sort of a new start. I started it, only did about 5 crosses, and then put it back down because I thought, oh, that's not the colour I thought the background was going to be. And then I've picked it up and just got into it these last 5 months. So I started this after Christmas, and once I got my Millennium Frame, and I actually started to find some picture on her, and where I've worked down to here, let me see if I can get my hand in. Oh, sorry. Down there is the bottom of the first page. So, and that's the edge of the first page. So I'm getting there slowly. I'm trying parking for the first time. I wouldn't call it proper parking of working 100 squares, you know, square of 10 by 10. What I'm doing is I work a thread out, a colour out for 20 by 20. And then I put the other colours in. When it starts to get a bit crowded, I take those colours and move them out another 10 and stitch them and bring those other ones out, and then keep filling in and bringing the colours down. So that's my version of parking. A little bit different, but I can't seem to handle having all the threads just in that one working area. I find it too hard and too overwhelming. Can't remember if I've shown you. I did a little bit of progress on her just on this one. This is Persephone by Mirabilia before Christmas, and I can't remember if I showed you or not. So this is Persephone. So working on background. She's got a lot of background for Mirabilia. And I've worked on her dress and brought her dress down, and also her arm. So I'm contemplating doing her again. I would love to know how you all do your rotations, whether it's 1 week on, 1 week off, or you just work on one a couple of times and swap it out, and then each time you pick up one, you just keep picking up a different one. Because I've got a lot of whips that I really need to start getting progress on. Like, I've had no finishes. When I came back from holidays, I was going to get in and get reindeers finished because I'm sick of doing them. I got halfway through the next reindeer for Mum. Nora Corbett reindeer. Oh, I can't remember which one this is at the moment. I should have written it down. And got bored, or got tired, or got distracted, I can't remember which, and went and picked something else up. I think that's when I picked up my leader, because my Millennium Frame arrived, and I got super excited, and I was going to start. I've got a chatelaine, Victorian Gardens, they're the pattern, and when I bought the Millennium Frame, I bought some fabric and started getting the threads, and I was going to start that when I got my Millennium Frame, but instead I got myself all worked up about what colour I wanted to hand dye the fabric. I couldn't decide whether to do a light colour or a dark colour. It's always been done on a light colour, and I like to do things a little bit differently. So, and then it got all too hard, so put it aside, and I might try some ice dyeing. I've been watching some videos on that. The results you girls have been getting has been awesome. And yeah, I'll think about it. We'll see what happens in the near future. I've also been stressed out with my job, wondering if I've made the right decision and all that. So I haven't really been in the brain space. So yeah. Now this is Judgment. I was working on this for a while. I pulled this out for a while. I can't remember if I showed you progress, so I thought I'd better just give you a quick look-see. First dragon is starting to really fill in around his wing, so lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of confetti. But it was a joy to work on. This fabric is actually beautiful. I actually don't know what it is, whether it's a linen or an even weave. I think it's an 36 count even weave, but it's a really nice even weave. And I know there's a wig art fabric usually have an orange stripe in the selvage, but there's no orange stripe in the selvage, so I don't know what brand it is. But gee, it's lovely. It's a lovely fabric. Excuse me, my nose is getting a bit twitchy. So that's all my older works in progress and my ordinary projects. So I'm using, now my sister-in-law, I should start at the beginning. On Instagram I saw someone was stitching the Zelda. It was a free pattern. It was a Zelda lead light window pattern. And my sister-in-law is a huge Zelda fan, has all the games, has played, Matilda has decided to investigate power cord. Just one moment. Wait, no. Just a sec. No. Okay. She's just being a handful. I'll introduce you. Come here, you. Okay, so this is Matilda. And she is full of beans at the moment. She just wants to play, don't you, darling? So, can't see your eyes, but that's usual Shih Tzu cross. She's a bit more Maltese. That's okay. I love her, and she loves me. So, but yes. This is my handful. She's my fur baby. I even have tantrums about leaving the park, just like normal kids. So, off you go. Go on. Go play. So, I think she's telling me I've talked long enough. But I'll get back onto this story. So, I showed my sister-in-law, and she's always been interested in my cross stitch. And she goes, oh, could you stitch it for me? And I don't stitch things for people unless I'm doing it as a gift. And it's something that big. The pressure to get it finished and all of that would be just too much. So what I said I'd do is I'd teach her. And she goes, oh, no. Anyway, we're talking about it. We talk about it, and we're at Easter time visiting my parents. And I was telling Mum about it. And I was talking with Debbie about it again. I said, look, I wouldn't leave you stranded. I would actually teach you, and I'd be there to help you if you got stuck. So I wouldn't just be throwing you in the deep end. And she agreed. So I've started to teach my sister-in-law how to cross-stitch. And I have been cross-stitching since I was 19. I am 40 now. And last weekend, while I was teaching my sister-in-law, was the first time my brother paid any particular attention to what I was stitching because he shows an interest in everything his wife does. So and I thought that was lovely, but I also found it a little funny. So this is the starting point. We're doing it on 16 count Ada, so it's easy for her, and it should be quite easy for me, and a little bit easier to show her what to do. Go away. And yeah, so hopefully you'll see more. Now, I was watching YouTube last night thinking, oh gosh, I really need to get in and get a floss tube video up. And, just a sec. No! Just one moment. I'm just going to have to pause this and start a little bit later, and once I get rid of my little handful. So, now, what was I talking about? Okay, I was following Floss Tube. I've just started Teresa. She's a British lady, and she has pretty much jumped right in and started with Heaven and Earths. And she does Jasmine Beckett Griffith faces, which I absolutely love. Jasmine Beckett Griffith. I have a number of her patterns. I've got one started. Really want to start them all, but I want to get at least some finishes before I start any more. Anyway, and she asked on her last one, do we do other crafts? Hell yeah! I do the whole range. I do quilting, I do card making, I do scrapbooking, I crochet. And I think that's where I've stopped myself. In the way of stitching, like I said, I've got a chatelaine which has what they term specialty stitches, which is just your classic embroidery stitches thrown in. Oh, excuse me, now my allergy is going to start up. And yeah, so I've been working on a large quilt for myself, and then I've joined quilting group here to try and get to know people within the community, and we are doing a sampler quilt. So once a month we do a block on our sampler quilt. And yeah, so I post photos up on Instagram as well for that one. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'd see my photos. I won't show you them now, and get you distracted. And yes, and I do cards. So, and I'm actually registered as a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So I like their product. They do a good product. And within Australia, their mail order is quite quick. It takes a week to get to me, and I'm in a bit of a odd spot within Queensland, so trying to take a week is brilliant. And yeah, so thank you for watching me. I hope I haven't bored you, and sorry for the delay. Life just happens and things go, so hopefully when I try and upload this video it will work. And the cross stitch, wrong shoulder. The cross stitch behind me is a Mirabilia's her Midsummer Night Fairy. I can't remember the exact name at the moment. It's a finish that I've actually got framed. I have a lot of finishes, but nothing framed, much framed anyway. So it's one of the rare pieces I've got framed and actually up on the wall. Yeah, so thank you for watching, and I will try not to be such a slack ass and get videos up a little bit more regularly. Bye for now. Happy stitching.